Hello and welcome back to the reading vlogs. We have Monday afternoon. I had a day today, but I did manage work. I filmed a video. I got a bit of knitting done, which is nice. I'm trying to work with a to-do list this week because I found, like, cleaning up my room, I found like this notepad that I got in one of the book boxes, and it's one of those you put in the date and then you can write out what you want to do in the day. So I'm trying to work with this week because obviously I have it, I can use it. So we're gonna see if that will work out. And yeah, we have primarily one book this week, I'm gonna guess, but I did do a lot of progress yesterday and today, so we'll see. But I did start reading Rose Matter. This is a book about domestic violence. It's about Rose, who got pretty badly treated by her husband. She landed in the hospital multiple times, and after 14 years, she finally makes the decision to leave her husband. He's a cop. He goes after her. And I'm now at a point where I'm like 150 pages in, and her husband is after her. She has taken a bus to a different city. She is now, well, she lived for like a couple of weeks in a shelter, like a house for like victims of domestic violence, I think, or for women who don't have anything. And so she has lived there, she has found work, and she's met a couple of people that like all are kind of influencing her worldview in a couple of different ways. And yeah, I think what is kind of standing out to me so far is that she's kind of starting to lose the initial fear because her husband hasn't found her yet, which obviously is gonna be a problem, I'm gonna guess, because we do have a lot of pages left. So yeah, I'm guessing that it's gonna be a problem. And yeah, she found a painting, and on the back of the painting has the name Rose Matter on it. She's called Rose something else, and make something like that. Yeah. So we're gonna see where this goes. The beginning is really hard to read, I feel like, because there's a lot of description of the violence that happened to her, that was inflicted on her, and then the fact that, like, you know, you start the book with an incident, and you know, then you learn that she stays a couple of years after that, and kind of describes how hard it is to leave because of the thoughts that you have and how you were brought up, and you know, societal pressure and all of that. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And yeah, we're gonna see where this goes. To be honest, with Stephen King, this can go any which way, so I don't really know. But yeah, we're gonna continue with that tomorrow, maybe a little bit tonight still, we'll see. Other than that, I did quite a bit of knitting. I need to be careful. I have a lot of pain in my left wrist, but I'm so excited for the knitting. It's hard sometimes, but yeah, I started this new sweater, and this is how far I've come. You can barely see anything, but yeah, it's pretty oversized. It's a little bit more oversized than I planned for, but that's fine. I do like my sweaters oversized, so I'm not mad about it, but I think it's gonna come out quite a bigger than I initially planned for. But you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I have enough yarn. That is what we'll find out. But yeah, so far I have this, and I'm now at the first color work row, and I'm saving that up for tomorrow. I'm kind of intimidated to start the color work, and obviously my wrist hurts, so I should take a break from the knitting. But yeah, this is the color I have for the color work. It's like this. It's hard to see because it's such a gray day, but it's a really, really nice lilac color. Like, yeah, it looks a little bit like these pretty flowers color-wise. So I think this, in contrast with the black, I think will look really, really pretty. And the sweater has like roses on it, and that is what this color will be for, which I'm really excited for, to be honest. And then last week I showed you my crochet project, and I stopped there because I was really unsure about the stiffness. And I then did quite a bit more cleanup of my room, which I'm nearly finished with rearranging and cleaning up and stuff like that, which I'm really excited for. And whilst I was doing that, I found a yarn that I originally bought to make sweatpants with. And so far I've decided to not do them because at the moment I'm just really enjoying to knit things I can wear on top, so cardigans, sweaters, all of that is what I'm really enjoying right now. So I'm kind of not in the mood to pick up and try to do pants. And I do think I also want to try and do a like a pattern for pants first before I try to do them myself. I think it's like a sensible thing to do. So what I then decided to do, because the yarn has the perfect thickness, is to try and do the crochet cardigan that I started in the cotton in this yarn. This is a cotton silk, so it's a lot softer and more like flowier and not as stiff as the other one. And I think this will look actually really, really nice. Obviously in this light it's hard to see, but that is how far I am, and this is so much less stiff, and I think it will actually look a lot nicer as a cardigan and will feel a lot nicer as a cardigan. So yeah, I'm gonna frock the other one, the cotton. I think I'm just gonna use the cotton for like dish towels and stuff like that. I do like to make my own. I have done one so far and my partner loves it, so I'm gonna need to make us more so that we can have all self-made dish towels, which is kind of the goal, you know, to just make things ourselves. And so I will scrap the cardigan in the cotton and just do that with that, and I will continue with the silk cotton and do the cardigan in that. And I have more than enough yarn for that because I have, I think, 15 skeins of that. Obviously I plan to do trousers with it, which would obviously need a lot more yarn than a cardigan would, so I do have more than enough, which is really nice. So yeah, that is what I will continue to do today, because it's kind of funny, knitting goes more towards my left hand, like this hand is a lot more strained when I knit, but the right hand is a lot more strained when I crochet. So being that this hand is a lot more strained right now, I will do more crochet, so I use my right hand more and I can alleviate my left hand a little bit, and I can still do yarn things because, to be honest, I love it. I love crochet, I love knitting, as you've obviously seen, and yeah, I don't want to stop, and I hate that I'm forced to be a little bit careful, so that is what I'm doing. So yeah, that is the start of the week. We'll see how Rosetta will continue, and I will see you with the next check-in, maybe like in 100 pages. I think that would be a good check-in point, so I will see you in 100 pages. Okay, it is now Wednesday. I had to collect my thoughts on the book a little bit before I checked it back in with you. So I read the next 200 pages. I am a little bit over halfway through the book now, and I don't enjoy the book. It's not the book for me. There are two reasons for that. The first one is that I don't enjoy the story. There's a supernatural aspect now with the containing to the painting that Rosie bought. And I think that's a cool aspect of the story. It's not that I don't like the concept of the story. I just don't enjoy stories about this type of violence. And I think this like really personal violence is something, I don't know. I much rather have characters that don't know each other being killed, you know. I think, I don't know. I do enjoy a good thriller, you know, where you have like a serial killer hurting people, but with this one I think it's a type of story I just don't really get along with in general. And then the second part is the way the story is written, because we have Rosie's point of view, and then we have her thoughts, which are put in cursive, and then we have the thoughts of her husband, her ex. They are still married as far as I'm aware. We have his thoughts, which are also in cursive, and sometimes I'm then not sure whose thoughts I'm reading at the moment, because they kind of blend together because he thinks about her and she thinks about him, and it's like, it's a little bit a weird way that the story is written. I don't know, it feels not as much Stephen King as his other books, and that might just be because, I don't know, it might be enhanced because I don't enjoy the story. But yeah, I'm not enjoying the book, to be honest. That will make it really hard with the rating. I don't really know what I will be doing with it, because obviously it's hard to rate a book that you don't like the concept of. And I I don't know. I don't think it's a bad book. I think that for a lot of people it will probably work out, the story and the way it is written. Just for me, I don't enjoy it. So yeah, we'll see. I will finish it because obviously I went on and I have the challenge with myself to at some point in my life have read all of Stephen King's books. Which should only be possible because he's a lot older than me, and you know, one of us will die first. Which seems morbid, but like he has to stop writing books at some point for me to catch up. But yeah, I don't know. This is not for me. Yeah. If it wasn't a Stephen King, I think I would stop reading it. But because I do have the goal to read all of his books, I will continue with it. And I wouldn't be DNFing it because I hate the book or something like that. It's just that I don't enjoy the reading of the story because of those two factors, and it is a really long book, obviously, so that is kind of a little bit annoying. But yeah, that is the reading so far, which I am happy with the amount I've read so far, but yeah, I'm not enjoying it as much as I had hoped I would actually enjoy it. Other than that, let's come to the knitting and crocheting. I finished my first front panel for the crochet cardigan. It is really hard to show because obviously it's black, you know. I love how it's looking. I love how it feels. It's not like not stiff, but it is like a soft stiffness, which I think will work fine for cardigan. And then it's this way around. It's pretty much this panel that I've finished so far, and I am starting the second one today. And then I did also make progress with my knitting, but I am really slowing down. I have started my first color work, and this is the inside of the sweater. The outside looks like this so far. I really love the color combination, but I'm having a lot of trouble with my inner perfectionist. I feel like my tension with the color work is all over the place, which is a given. It is my first time doing color work, you know, because this is just stripes, so it's really easy. You don't have to change the colors between stitches, but as you can see, you have to change the color between the stitches here, and it is the first time I'm doing this, and obviously I'm not doing it perfectly, and let's be honest, I could have done like a small test thing, but I don't enjoy working like that. I enjoy throwing myself into a project head first, and I have to live with the consequences now. So I have finished, I think, 3.5 rows of the color work so far, and I need to do, I think, 32 rows of color work. So there's a lot more color work before I can go to the next black section. So yeah, this will probably be a longer time project, and I will probably continue with like doing 1 or 2 rows a day. And do other projects in between, just because this is, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit more to handle for my head, and I'm not always in the mood for that. So yeah, but I still love the sweater, so I'm happy with that. It's just, you know. And then I will start a new project today because my husband told me that he would love a thicker beanie, because the one I made him out of the red isn't the thickest beanie out there, and it is getting really cold here. We already had like 0 degrees, so it is winter weather here now, and it's only getting colder. So he asked me if I could knit him a second beanie that is like a double thickness beanie. So I will do that with the color that I have left over from his sweater. I have 6 of these left over, which should be more than enough. And so yeah, I got myself a pattern, and I will probably start this today or tomorrow. It should be a quick project, so hopefully that is. But yeah, those are like the knitting and crocheting projects, and that is how the week is going. It is going quite well, and yeah, we'll see how Rose Matter continues, but yeah, I don't think I will learn to love it more. Let's be honest. Okay, so I am now pretty near the end, I would say. So far, I think the big showdown is still going to happen. I'm still, I think, at the same opinion I was at yesterday. I don't enjoy the story. I think it's a good story. I like a lot of the parts of the story, but I don't enjoy the story as a whole. Even though it has really good gotcha moments, it's just not an interesting book to me. No matter how hard I try to find it interesting, there's really not much where I'm like, oh, I would really like to read this, So yeah, I think I'm learning a lot about myself as well through this, through reading all of the books that I bought randomly, which, is a habit I'm trying to not do so much in the future, because obviously it hasn't gotten all that great of results, even though I do enjoy reading a random book, but but yeah, I just don't think this is a book for me, and it's really hard to obviously rate it and be fair to the book, because I think there are a lot of really good elements in the book. I couldn't care less, to be honest, about the whole thing, which makes me kind of sad. It's not the nicest feeling to know that the story isn't bad, but to not care at all, because it's just not a topic I enjoy in a book, I've realized. So I think for the future, I will just not pick up books that are explicitly stating that they are about spousal abuse. And whatever comes with that or after that, I just think it's not a topic for me that I enjoy, and it's not a topic that I want to pick up again. So yeah, I will finish this tomorrow, and we'll see about the big showdown. I guess there's only one conclusion that the book will come to, I'm guessing, which I'm totally fine with. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna be really happy once it's done tomorrow. And I can pick up something that I'm a little bit more interested in. So yeah, I'll see you once Rose Matter is actually finished and we have a conclusion to the book. Okay, it is Saturday now. I'm really sorry that I didn't check in with you yesterday. I kind of needed a day to just let Rose Matter sink in. Yeah, this is really hard to rate for me. I think the concept of the story is really good. I think the characters are really fitting. I like the supernatural aspect. I like so much about this book, but I could not care for it. And it's kind of annoying, because I can say that this is a good book. I actually think you should read it. But I think at the same time, you should only read it if you can handle the topic, and I'm just not a fan of the topic. And so no part of the book that was good could convince me that I actually enjoyed the story at all, and that I actually enjoyed the reading. And for some people that might be a positive, how much do you want to enjoy that kind of a story? But you want to enjoy the book, but in the end, I personally did not enjoy reading the book, even though I can objectively say that the story was really good and that I really liked a lot of the aspects of the story. And I can't even tell you what should have been different for me to enjoy the book, other than it not being about domestic violence, which obviously would make the book void. So yeah, I just think it's not a topic I want to read about. And I think that is something that, I've learned about myself now, and I will definitely avoid books with that topic in the future. I think it's just not something I want to read about, I enjoy reading about, and I don't think you can actually make a book where would be like, oh yeah, I like that, with physical violence in relationships and domestic violence as the main topic. I mean, if it's a side topic, I'm pretty fine with it. I'm pretty sure I've read books where it was a side topic, but I can't do it as a main topic, I've realized now. There's just no way. I give it 3 stars. I think it's a fair compromise between me not enjoying the book at all and saying that there's actually a lot of good in this book. And so yeah, I'm giving it 3 stars. I think if you think you can deal with the topic in itself, I would say go and read the book. It's pretty cool. I like the supernatural aspects. I like the overdoneness of the husband. It's really fitting. I like the ending. I like the like the intensity. There's a lot of intensity in there, so I do think like it's a pretty well done book, just not for me, just really not for me. So yeah, I don't know, it's something I learned about myself, and I just need to live with that. And to be honest, I'm also not super sad about it. It's just more of feeling bad about having to rate a book less than I thought it deserved, because I just cannot argue for 4 stars if I didn't enjoy the book, you know. So, and then this morning I then started my second James Patterson book for this month, and that is Pop Goes the Weasel. This has a pretty interesting start to the story. We have a perpetrator who is killing women, which, like, let's be honest, that is most of thrillers, which pretty accurately describes reality. And he is part of some kind of a game where they are like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and he is death, and there's like this whole concept of why he kills and how he does that. And we do know that our perpetrator is working for the British embassy in Washington, and so he has immunity in some places. Like, he is, for example, speeding through the city and the cops pull him over, and he's like, yeah, I have immunity, you can't do shit, which, like, is a topic that really annoys me. But yeah, so he told his family, he has a wife and 2 children. He told his family he's away for like traveling for his job, and he's actually still in Washington. He's disguising himself as a black man, so I'm guessing that racism will play like the false like people saying they saw a black man even though he's not a black man, but like he disguises himself as a black man. That will probably be a really, really big part of the books, which I do think it's a great job of James Patterson, that like racism and the problems between black cops and all of the other people around, that those are reoccurring like topics of the books. I think that is really, really good. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at right now with the story. Also, Alex Cross, which is the aspect I'm not enjoying, is like in love now, and the woman he's seeing doesn't like how risky his job is, which, you know, fair enough, but like, what can you do? Like, we do need detectives, like, you can't do without them. So yeah, maybe don't date somebody who's a detective if you can't deal with that, might be my point. But yeah, so that is an aspect I don't enjoy. I never enjoy that in books, but we all know that so far. So yeah, but that is where I'm at. I made a pretty good dent in it this morning, so I'm pretty positive that I will finish this as the beginning of next week, and then I have like one fixed book more on my TBR and one that I would like to get to, which isn't the most realistic, but I think I will at least go through the books that I like promised myself I would get through this month. So yeah, I do like this. I think it's so far it's a pretty solid thriller, even though I'm still not connected with the main character, but I think it's fine enough for like the entertainment value. It's just not, I'm never gonna love the books by James Patterson, I think. I just don't like the characters he writes necessarily. But yeah, that is what I'm up to on that front. Then yarn working wise, I finished the second front. I now have 2 front pieces for my cardigan, which is nice, and I'm currently working on the back piece so that I can put the body together. And I haven't worked on my color work project more yet, mostly because I want to get my partner's beanie done, and I have gotten this far. So I do think a pretty good way through the first half of the beanie, and then you do like the second half and decrease, and then you put them in one another. So it's like you have 2 beanies over another, so it's a special warm beanie. So yeah, I have gotten pretty far, and I'm actually pretty happy with my magic loop. You can't even tell that I had to do a magic loop, which I'm pretty proud of because I made progress with my knitting skills, which is making me really proud. But yeah, that is the project I'm working on, and then I'm working on the cardigan. And once I finish those 2 projects, I'm gonna go back to my colorwork project because yeah, I started too many projects and I'm regretting it. So yeah, that is kind of what we're up to. I'm thinking I'm finally finished with my room so far, like with as much as I can do right now. So I'm thinking about filming like a short little room video, like showing what I've done with it and converting it into an office instead of just a reading room, and how that's going. So yeah, hopefully I can make that into a video because I personally think it's kind of interesting. I love watching other people's rooms, so maybe that is something that's interesting for some people. So yeah, I probably will film that either like, well, maybe on Monday if I can get around to it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please leave down below what you've read this week. I would love to hear that. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!